Why? What time is it?
Time.
Time for what?
The show.
It's terrain time.
It's train time.
It is. Right, let's get this doing. Hello, folks. Calls 9 o'clock Sunday night, UK time. It can mean it's only time for one thing. What time is it for, Willow?
Terrain time.
That'll do. Hello, folks. How you doing? Right. I see Patrick's over on Facebook. I am getting Facebook comments now. I don't know if the chat's going to work. It was working.
Hello?
I've given up on the chat. Yeah. Hello, folks. If you're here, say hello in the chat. I see loads of people. Right, let's scroll through. Who's that, Wills?
Gary.
Who's that?
The publican.
Publicum. Yeah. Randy, Max, Redleg, James, Miko, Matt, Dean, Bullnut, Cat, hello Cat, Peter, Tim, Matt, Sander,
Cat.
Yeah, we've already said Cat, the Mannix, Pagan, Donald, loads of people.
Evan.
Matt,
Evan.
Jamie, Martin, Evan, Miniature, Ange,
Gary.
Achilles,
Tim.
hello, hi from Italy.
Pikachu.
Oh, the Polycum has left his Bose cancelling headphones off so he can hear us. You don't get that, do you?
No.
Bose makes speakers.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I see Hasdrul over on what you call it, on the old Twitcheroo. Hello, buddies. What was that?
That was your phone.
Yeah.
Someone sent a donation.
All hail the Melon Willow. Sad Glad's there. Hello, buddy. I'm trying to track it across multiple platforms here. Right, this is a question and answer show. The link is in the description. I better get that link for the Google Doc and we'll throw it into the comments. Yeah, so you guys can it. If you've got any terrain related questions, just head on over to the Google Doc. Submit them in there. Yeah, all you need to do is enter, your channel name, your screen name sort of thing, your what platform you're on, or your question. Yeah, as of yet. Yeah, how many questions? We've got one question so far.
And if you think I'm going to be able to answer it, put -Willow.
-Willow. -Willow. So if it's a question for Willow, yeah, put -Willow. I see Ant Evans in the chat. Now, Ant Evans, I need a word with. What was Robin like today, mate? I've seen a couple of photos. Compared to last year or when I saw you there, what do you reckon? Yeah, if you're unsure, Robin is Red on Blue in Nottingham. It's a gaming convention. It's relatively new. It's been put into new hands this year. I didn't make it this year, so I'm quite curious to see how it's going. Yeah, so yeah, that's all working. Picture quality is better on Twitch, isn't it? Even if the chat just does not work. I'm going to can that chat off, I think. Be done with it once and for all.
Then we just freed them from here and say.
Yeah. Half term starting soon. Are you doing
it is half term.
Weekday live shows or have things changed? No, I'm just still cracking on. It is half term, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a week off, haven't you?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to the cinema.
She's going to the cinema. What are you going to go see?
Alyssa, the new Battle Angel. On the same day as my other two friends at the same time.
It's a girly. Ant Evans says it was okay. All right then, dude. I'll take that as, yeah, ticking along nicely.
We got a free skittle.
Oh, we've got 4 viewers on Twitch. We're getting there. 81 on YouTube. See where I'm well known. More well known, isn't it? Even though it's been a while since I caught a live show. Welcome, warmers. Time for bed, isn't it, Willow? No, it's half term.
No, it's half term. I get to stay up as much as I want.
No, that's not true. You get
by
to stay.
midnight.
Latest is midnight on a half term. Because she's allowed
or
to
a
sleep.
Saturday.
Yeah, you're allowed midnight on a Saturday. Yeah.
That's why Saturday's my favourite day of the week.
Could have been way better. Not a lot of tables demo-wise, and the numbers dropped off about 1,300. We're out traders.
Yes, miniature adventures. It is.
It's Willow, the star of the show, and her assistant Mel.
Well, then I need the big chair. Get out.
You're not having the big chair. Look, this is Daddy's big chair. Daddy's in the big chair.
Bakamoyoshi.
Don't be swearing at me in Japanese.
I'm not. Stupid isn't a swear word.
Look, Stop it.
Fine.
Willow's learned, yeah, that she can get away with swearing at school if she swears in Japanese. So she's been learning Japanese. You have candies? We do actually, don't we?
Yeah, we have Skittles.
Yeah. Oh, we got another follow on Twitch. Welcome aboard, matey.
Hello.
Mel Checkside says bloop. Hello, buddy.
Bloop! Dad, we got the bloop gang.
Have you noticed the Twitch comments don't come along to here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do come into here. So we'll have to watch this to make sure we see all the comments.
Okay,
Tom
I'll
saying,
keep an eye on this one.
I loved Atilia. Bit emotional. You'd like the background... Alita. Okay, Alita. Yeah, I'd like the background sets.
Dad, you should see the trailers and try and make one of the scenes.
If your eyes go much bigger, they'll look like hers.
I hate you sometimes.
And say the traders were the usual suspects. I spent more on the CG and the misses.
I'm going to the toilet.
Okay. You couldn't have gone before the show?
No.
No, of course not.
Come back down in a minute.
See you in a second. Michael, I think, is saying, I've just made my first piece of training in my life based on your tutorial. Beautiful fence. Well, not so beautiful, but I'm proud. We should all be proud of our first creations, my matey. Right, let's have a look how the questions are coming. Right, quick one on fundraising and that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, Kez can't go to Ireland. And so I've knocked that on the head and I'm going to sort it out after all the Kickstarter and all that sort of stuff. And we're going to go and have a weekend away then. Yeah, so I've just changed that back to the normal one. Evan's saying, I need help with carving stone walls out of foam. There's a tutorial on that. I think it's in the Back to Basics. If not, there's definitely a tutorial in the Let's Make playlist. Yeah, I'm sure it's in the Let's Make playlist because I do one with foam and I do one with like PVA and grit that looks like a cereal bar. Evan, he is aware. He's just not cooperating tonight. What? What have I done? And there's nothing on the terrainiac chat on the stream, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to can that off. This terrainiac chat that you see at the side, it was a good thing, but now most of the platforms that I stream on automatically stream the chat next to it anyway. So it's a bit mute. And so I think I'm going to knock that off, to be perfectly honest, because every show it's a problem. It goes on, it goes off. And until it gets stable, I don't really want to mess with it. Yeah, which is a shame because it was nice, but what can you do? So Mal, who do we contact to nominate Kez for a sainthood? God, isn't it? Mel, I did laugh when you used no more nails to glue nails to your wet board. I'll tell you, what's been quite interesting is there's been this slurry of alternate wet boards ideas, and everyone's got cheaper and simpler wet board ideas than me. But I'm quite happy with mine. Just quite happy. What's the best way to cut a cylinder out of XPS without a hot wire cutter? Ooh. I'd probably cut it as a hexagon. Trim the sides and sand it. Yeah, but you're going to struggle.
Dad, you know when they were saying about you should make some of the scenes from Battle Angel?
Yes. Oh no, you didn't go toilet. You wanted to get... Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah?
You got to make some of them.
I've got to make some of those, have I? All right.
Thank
Yeah. Any thoughts on using low voltage lighting to get your railways in Wargame series? You getting railways for Wargame series? Thinking of adding some lighting to a Venetian City in 28mm I'm making. Lighting works well. I'm not a massive fan of it personally. Okay, and this kicks back to a sort of stage in wargaming where with our 40k tanks, everyone started putting lights in them and they just look like toys to me. So it's not my particular thing, to be perfectly honest, but it does work. Woodland Scenics are doing some great lighting kits at the minute. Okay,
Dad,
was a good idea to see what the other platforms were saying. To be truthful, the other platforms aren't that chatty. Yeah? If I can get the comments to work, I'll get them to work. You know, but it's a battle every show, isn't it? Whoa, the comments just appeared on the side like normal. Now I can watch Mel and read the comments for the first time. See, it's one of those shows, isn't it, Bill? What would you use to give a Cruel Seas board a sea finish that's flat enough to game on, but keeps a good water-like look? If I was to do it, I'd use I'd do the waves out of, out of something like filler or polyfiller. Hello! Yeah. We did some Stucco waves. I think they're in the water playlist. And we did some really flat ones that are perfect for something like that. So you'd get a wavy texture, but you could still balance your boats on it. So go check that out.
Dad.
Tell Willow to unstick the TP from her shoe.
What? I'm not wearing shoes.
He got you good.
What? Mum, there's a TP on the stairs.
There's no toilet paper, darling. He's winding you up.
Not that I can see. Can you check if anyone sent me a
Which
question?
means Peter can't see it. If I can get the chats to work, guys, I'll get it to work. But it has been
Daddy?
temperamental. I think what I'll do is I'll extend the chat window and we'll drop it into the sort of screen, if you know what I mean. So that way, if it turns up, great. If it doesn't turn up, it's just going to be very much me. What's up, darling?
Daddy?
Yes, E?
Can we see if there's any questions?
You want to see if there's any questions?
Questions. Especially the ones for me.
We've got 6 questions. We've got Pete, Mannix, Joe's, Jamie, Novice, and the Anton.
And they're all on YouTube. And none of
Are they all
them
YouTubers? They are all YouTubers at the minute.
And no one says Dash Willow.
Oh, no one says Dash Willow. No questions for Willow.
Alright.
Terrainiacs 1, Willow 0. Don't start that with Willow.
I will call on all my friends.
Right,
Like
I
next
think...
20 messages. Dash Willow, Dash Willow.
Yeah. Reminder, folks, please submit your questions in the doc link below. He'll start answering in a few minutes, and when he runs out of questions, he will stop the show. Keep them coming. That's very true. That's very true.
Until I get...
Yeah. Well, we've got 6 questions. Should we start getting stuck into them?
Yeah.
People are posting palm trees on my stream.
Yay.
Yay? Yay. Right. Questions. Are you really on your phone whilst we're on?
Right? Palm trees.
Oh, don't play anything while I'm on a live stream. Otherwise, I have things like copyright issues. So if you play someone else's stuff on my live stream,
I wasn't. I was gonna put on yours and then type.
That's
palm
okay.
trees.
That's okay.
Palm tree.
We don't need palm trees.
Oh.
Been painting Spectre Team Ember this evening until my eyes gave up on me. No, that one right. Right, we have got 7 questions. And we've got one from Twitch. Nice one. Yeah, so. Yeah, let's do first question. So my first question is... Yeah, where are the questions gone, Wills?
That one.
That one, okay. Right. So, individuals. So Pete's asking, what's Pete asking?
Sticking foam to 4mm MDF, what's the best glue to not warp it? No more nail.
Right, so Pete's asking about how to fight the warp when sticking foam to 4mm MDF. What's the best glue not to warp it? In general, most glues will warp it. Hot glue is probably the very best glue you can use not to warp it, because hot glue doesn't shrink, yeah, as it fixes. No more nails actually can cause warping, but it's not actually about the glue, it's more about the technique. You see, warping is caused by shrinking, and that's caused by having long lines of glue that as they dry get shorter and therefore cause things to warp up. If you come along and you put little spots instead of long lines, then you don't have a continuous line to shrink and cause the warping. Yeah, so it's not so much about the glue. You're fine with PVA. Okay, but what you've got to do is put it down in lots of little dots, leave space between them, yeah, so that it can't sort of shrink and warp. So if you just put lots of little dots, you'll be absolutely fine, mate, no matter what glue you use. Generally, I tend, when I'm gluing foam, I tend to do
Hot
80.
glue.
Well, I do 80% PVA, yeah, and 20% hot glue. Why does Dad do that?
Wait, do you mix them together?
No. I put spots of PVA down, and then I put a couple of spots of hot glue. Why do I do that?
Because the PVA sticks, what's it called again? Lighter bits, well, the bigger bits you need hot glue for.
No.
Then I have no idea.
Okay, because the PVA, yeah, the hot glue will stick it enough for me to continue working on it, yeah, while the PVA dries. And once the PVA dries, it'll be stuck hard enough for gaming. That's why I do that. So a little tip for you there. 80% PVA in little dots. Then a couple of little spots of hot glue. Slap it down. It'll fix in 5 minutes. And then you can carry on, yeah, working whilst you're waiting for your PVA to dry. So Pete, hope that answers your question, buddy. Yeah, helps you with your hobby. Gas lamps, have you looked at the... Everyone's talking about lights. Mel battling the warp in the name of the Emperor. Yeah, I'm Brother Captain Melicus.
What?
Brother Captain Melicus. In 40k, yeah, all the demons come from the warp. And there's these special, like, super soldiers called the Grey Knights, the Brother Captains, yeah, who fight the warp. So me fighting the warp, I'm Brother Captain Melicus.
And me and Corbin in the warp.
You and Corbin are the warp. Yes, you are. Yeah, Cat's saying if you have a bit that's warping, try coating the underside and counter the warp. Yeah, you can certainly fight the warp by flipping it over and painting its bottom.
Dad, you got 9 responses in the last minute.
Good. People want questions answered. We better get answering questions then. So, Pete, hope that helps you, buddy. Right, next question. Make sure we're not missing anyone. No. The Miniacs. Not the Maniacs, the Miniacs. He spelled it out for me because you know where I'm like with names. Yeah, go on then. Go on, read it.
Any tips on how to texture foam core buildings, or can it be done by mixing paint and sand/gravel when base coating it?
Yeah, okay. Texturing foam core buildings, yeah. There's a couple of ways you can go about this. Yeah, there are videos in my what's Dad's playlist for the buildings? My buildings playlist. Yeah, that's the one.
Did you seriously forget that when it's a building playlist?
Well, actually, it's buildings and ruins. I think it is. Yeah, but there's actual videos on texturing foam board buildings actually in there, so you can see these techniques. Now you've got 2 core techniques. One, you can go in and you can sort of give it paste it with watered down filler, yeah, and just keep brushing that over it. What that'll do is it'll put a very, very fine sort of texture onto it, and that looks like concrete. That works really well. The other option is you can make sort of a terrain glue for your paint. So you get your paint, you throw a little bit of very fine sand, so you're talking, say, kiln baked sand or chinchilla dust. Yeah, obviously, yeah, from ground up chinchillas.
What you're talking about?
They're not really from ground up chinchillas. Yeah, and then mix it in with your paint and apply that. One of the problems with that is the distribution can be a bit iffy, if you know what I mean. It doesn't go down perfectly.
It's my top illusion on there.
Is your top? Actually, yeah, it is. Do me a favour. Put that back on, because that's going to give people like seizures.
Trippy.
Can't see the chat on Twitch. Ah, no, it's playing up. Yeah.
I can.
Restreambot should be throwing the comments into Twitch, so you should be able to follow them there. But yeah, when it comes to texturing your buildings, either go for a wash of watered down filler or look at putting a very fine sand into your paint. You could put, a bit of filler into your paint and get more of a finer texture, but the issue is that's going to lighten up your paint because filler is white. Yeah? Hey, Tam. Oh, pardon me. Yeah. Peter's saying, thanks, Mel. Phones are expensive to waste. I hear that, brother. I hear that. Yeah. Right.
That one.
That one. I should have you on more often, shouldn't I?
Well, Corbin ain't here.
Right,
so.
question. Yeah, Corbin isn't here. No Corbin. Yeah. Evening, other boss. Evening, boss.
It's going to be the best day of my life.
Corbin's already posted photos of the snowy mountains. Corbin's in Andorra at the moment. He's skiing with school for the week. Yeah, so someone is incredibly happy, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Otis is liking my wire trees. Thank you, buddy. Right, question 3 of 11. Joe's Deluxe. Hey, buddy, you read it. Get off your phone.
Dad. Didn't tip him.
Is this Corbin now? Is
No.
he messaging you?
That was yesterday.
Oh, all right. Steambot don't post chat entry on Twitch. Does it not? Because I see it in my what do you call it?
Yeah, we can
Chat
see it.
screen.
Can you not?
I can on Twitch when I look at the chat. I can see it. Yeah, and I can see Streambot restreaming everything. But I have to check that one out. Yeah. So okay, you want to read this question for Joe's?
Hey, buddy, I am working on a Hoth Battlefield style trench and base. So I was wondering what could be the best way to use a modular interior of the base. So the corridors and halls and different chambers. Any tips?
Right, so Joe's is asking, yeah, he's working on a Hoth-style battlefield table, the trenches and the base. Now, Hoth, if you don't know, is the ice planet. Yeah, from, is it Return of the Jedi? Is it? Are you sure? No, these guys will know. Are you sure, or are you just blagging it?
I am.
Shit, Willow's sure, so we're going to go with Willow, but, yeah, from Return of the Jedi.
I've never seen Return of the
You've
Jedi.
never seen Return of the Jedi? Anyway, it's the ice planet from Star Wars. Yeah. Now, it's very much like snowy with lots of trenches and gun turrets, and then there's some entrances into a mountain, and then you've got the ice base inside the mountain. And so what he's asking is, okay, if I build this base, how do I make the interior modular? And for me, what I would do is, there's a couple of options. Personally, I would represent the interior on a separate table. Beasts of War did a really good Hoth table ages ago, and they had essentially a wall up, a wall of ice, yeah, to represent one side with the inside of the base and the other side being the exterior battlefield. Yeah?
Are we able to make that bigger?
No.
You're not able to make that bigger?
No. So, Beasts of War had this sort of table set up. But it was very fixed, and, you know, I think what you're after is something a bit more. Now, I'd probably go along and I would create essentially a white table, and I'd create lots of little white foam blocks that I could drop down, yeah, to create the corridors and the ice caverns and just move them as I needed them. The reason why I say that is that's going to give you the most modularity. Second, I think, if you try to make a modular build with each sort of corridor that you could add on and that sort of stuff, that's going to be a complicated build, a very complicated build. Yes. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
We ran up 5 in the last 5 minutes.
That's okay.
1 per minute.
That's okay. They're just questions. We're cracking on.
I know.
So yeah, I think you're better off dropping a white sheet down and dropping white pieces of foam down, with the gaps forming the corridors and the rooms, and dropping your scatter and that sort of stuff in there. Because not only that, yeah, you can let it flow. So just keep adding bits in as, you know, your players explore the table. Compared to the idea of actually making modular tiles of ice caverns and dropping those in, I think that's a lot easier. A lot easier. So that's what I would go for, mate. Now I see the restream post, maybe a little lag. Right, okay, so restream is posting to what you call it. It's the Empire Strikes Back with Hoth, is it? Right. Were Cat saying, Willow, do not try to fake it with this crowd. They will call you out. You got called out. It's Terrainiacs 2, Willow 0. Because they got you on the bog roll as well.
Ow.
Yeah. Did it. Oh, you haven't brushed your hair, have you?
I did it earlier.
Yeah. That's the exact same face my kids make when I start talking terrain. Right, people are talking trees and stuff like that. Right, more questions? What are you up to?
Doing a bit of research.
Doing a bit of research?
Yeah, so every minute I'm going to see how many more comments we have.
Alright, how many more comments? Excellent co-host. Excellent co-host.
Sorry, Mum, you've been replaced.
Sander, are you there? Menno here from the Brussels squad. I've got to start concerned when my terrainiacs are referring them to themselves as the Brussels squad. You've got to get me back to the flight on time. I've got to get back to the UK. You know that.
Dad.
Yeah. Go on then. This one's Jamie's asking, how old is Willow?
I'm 11.
She's 11, going on 18.
How does that work then?
Because you think you're 18.
I act 18.
You think you act 18. Trust me, 18-year-olds brush their hair. No, they don't. What am I going on about?
You don't have hair.
James is saying, at least you have hair to brush, eh, Willow?
Oh, get wrecked, Dad.
Get wrecked, did you just say? Really? Get wrecked. Yeah. Brutal. So yeah, Willow is 11. Right, okay, question 5 of 12.
Is it possible to make a land...
Whoa, who's it from?
You seriously gonna... Novice model maker.
So the novice model maker is asking...
Is it possible to make a landscape from air, dry clay and on a wooden base? Wait. From air, dry clay.
Right. Is it possible to make a landscape, yeah, from air, dry clay on a wooden base? Depends how big your landscape is. If you're doing something in miniature, you know, a little miniature diorama or a gift or something like that, then yeah, you could use air drying clay. Air drying clay works on the basis that it's air drying. Now this means that when it's soft and everything like that, it's got water in it. And as the air dries the water out, it goes hard, but it also reduces volume. And this comes back to that warping thing again. Okay? Personally, I would not make a landscape from air dry clay. I would... How big of an... right, Novice, are you in the chat, mate? Well, how big of a landscape are you making and what's it for? Yeah? Let us know in the chat if you're still around, buddy. Yeah, and we'll take it from there. Now, one thing we will have to do is, obviously, we are collecting for the Adepticon trip. Links down below in the description if you'd like to help out on that.
Look at the latest comment.
Hey, Willow, buy your dad some car wax for Father's Day.
Thank you. I've already saved up enough money. I got 40 quid in my piggy bank.
Just right. Oh, PayPal, yeah. So very quickly check that we're not missing anyone.
I don't think someone's able to put theirs in there. Ask Mel, so do you want me to read one? What do you recommend for an explosion effect between water and sand or water and mud? Greeting DSD. Tenerife, dear Professor. I have taken the apple along the way.
Oh, very quickly, yeah. Tom H, yeah. Tom HW as what you call it? Like, let's get you to America bit by bit. He's thrown 20 nuggets in the pot. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, mate. I'll have to add that onto the total.
Can I type it? I like typing.
Typing what?
Typing it on.
Type what? You know you don't type it on, Duck. Right, so, yeah, okay. First, Tom, thank you, buddy. Yeah, right, you've confused me then. You got me lost. Yeah, so, Novice hasn't come back. What do you recommend for explosion effects between water and sand or water and mud? Greetings, I have taken an apple along the way. Okay. What do you recommend for an explosion effect between water and sand? That's really challenging. I think with something like that, you've probably got to go
Hot glue
with...
and cover it in sand.
No, but I mean, you're talking about explosions, aren't you? You're going to have the water, so you're going to need something plastically or acrylic-y to represent the water.
2 bases of hot glue.
I'll tell you what you could do, or you could give a go at, and I don't know how this is going to pan out. In fact, this could be a good experiment. Yeah? Greaseproof paper. And literally, I'm just flying by my brain right now, because this is the first time I've been asked that specific question. Water and sand explosions. Yeah? Greaseproof paper. Yeah? Let's get some sort of a acrylic clear heavy gel. Yeah? Mix in some sand. Okay? And then smear it out onto the paper in a long line. At the same time, go along with some sort of brush and spray it out from the top. Wait till it cures. Peel it off as a strip. And then see about rolling it up to make like an explosion sort of effect. That could work. I think you'd have to play with it a few times to get the sort of like the threading at the top right, so that when you sort of roll it up, you can pull them out and spread them out and that sort of stuff.
Wait, so you're thinking about greaseproof paper.
Yeah.
Then you got heavy gel and sand, mix it together, spread it across the bottom and then roll it up.
Yeah, once it's dry. Do you see what I mean? Because what you'd have is essentially, if I nick this post-it note, what you essentially have would be, you'd have like a sheet of white, of clear acrylic. Now acrylic's flexible when it's thin. Okay, it'd have sand all mixed in, and it'd be sprayed up, sort of up there. Oh, Jose, nice one. Yeah, it'd be sprayed up there. Keep flying, thank you, buddy.
Wait, well then.
And then what we'd do is we'd end up rolling it up like that.
Well, Dad, if you did that,
and then splaying those bits outwards, you could do that, couldn't you?
And if you did that, then if you wanted an easier way to separate it, then you could have used a fork and then just dragged it along.
Yeah, a fork would get good separation at the top, wouldn't it? Yeah, a fork I think a fork would be better, because a fork would actually drag through it and separate the pieces, where a brush would just thin it. That's some good thinking. Pagan saying Luke APS has some fantastic solution for water splash effects, very cheap. It's a polymer glue, nice one. Hi Mel, I wanted to thank you for all the tutorials. Don't know if you've got the photos of the terrain tile I'm based on your terrain tile. I might have, I haven't looked just yet. Let me bring this back up, by the way. Right, I haven't seen, Novice Model Maker jump back on, so let's keep going with these questions. Okay, right, the Anton. Hey, hurry up.
Does say line Willow now. My girlfriend is getting into AOS and is collecting night forts. I'm going to go down the route of Skaven. Suggestions for a 4x4-ish type board, scatter terrain, etc. Newbie proof, etc.
Right, this is the Anton, mate of mine. Yeah, my girlie. Yeah, is getting into Age of Sigmar and is collecting night haunts. I don't know what night haunts are. I'm going to be going down the route of Skaven. Suggestions for a 4x4-ish type of board, scatter terrain, newbie proof, etc. I've got an idea. Oh, they are Novice Maker. Yeah, Novice Maker. Just very quickly before I answer Anton's questions. Yeah, he's making a 2-foot-by-3-foot board. Don't use air drying clay for that, man. Use foam. If you can't use foam, use rolled up newspaper into balls, held into place with masking tape, and then go over it with plaster bandage. The brand name, I think, is Modrock.
Dad.
Yeah?
I'm starting to feel bad. It's been 10 minutes since you got your last comment.
It's okay. We've got plenty of questions. Yeah, so go over it with Modrock, yeah. There'll be no weird smells or chemicals, that sort of stuff. Plaster bandage is the stuff that they use for doing casts when you break your leg. Do it that way, matey. Yeah, don't use air drying clay over 2-foot-by-4-foot. That isn't. 1, it's going to warp. 2, yeah, it's going to weigh a ton. 3, if it falls on you, you're dead.
Dad, are you able to refresh the page quickly?
No, but what do you call it? Very quickly, we need to answer Anton's question, and I have an idea for Anton. I have an idea for you, buddy.
I just like it how
Oh
he's
boy,
put
have
that.
I got an idea for you.
I just like it how he's put that bit in specifically for me.
My girlfriend, ooh.
Ooh.
No, he's just got a new girlfriend, that's all, Doug.
Oh.
It's not for you. Yeah.
I just like saying that.
So yeah, Anton, here's an idea for you. Get your 4x4 board, yeah, and paint the entire board, yeah, with a really sewer sort of greeny, slimy colour. Give it a coat of gloss varnish or a resin coat, completely flat, one colour. Maybe, you know, stipple it, add a little bit of add a little bit of variation in a bit, but not too much. Okay. Make that the flat board. Then create, yeah, inside sewer pieces. So blocks of foam with, with the engravings of like, you know, the walls and that sort of stuff. Or perhaps you could use, wallpaper, textured wallpaper on it, and then just dry brush it up. Have at the bottom of the foam, extend the base out by a couple of inches and have the floor tiles. So essentially you have the walls and the floor tiles as the sewer. You can drop down on the board wherever you want to create different sewer layouts and different rooms and stuff like that. Then simply expand it on by adding sluice gates, interesting rooms. You could come up with like weirs and all sorts of interesting stuff. But whenever I hear scathing, I always think sewers, and I think that would be a great board because the board would be simple to do. Yeah, your scatter terrain would be simple to do, easy to store, but the amount of functionality you would get out of that board, do you know what I mean? I definitely think that is the way to go for that. And if I was playing Age of Sigmar, Skaven, I think that's the way I would go with it as well. Everyone's talking about rolling up tin foil, masking tape, how to make a mountain without how to make a mountain without actually, you know, using air drying clay. That's a lot of air drying clay as well. So yeah, Anton, I reckon that's your way to do it, mate.
Dad.
Make a sewer board, dude. That'll look mint, especially if you've got some Hearst Arts molds. And if you haven't, I'll lend you some.
It
What?
took 11 minutes to get one comment.
It's okay, don't worry. Right, we are on question 7 of 13.
I need that screen on.
What screen? That one?
No, the Ask Mail, just so I can carry on with my research.
Okay, Chosen Man on Twitch is asking, hobnob or digestive?
Digestive.
Digestive. I'm not a fan of hobnobs.
I don't
It's
even
the
know
bits.
what they are.
Yeah, hobnobs are, they're like OT biscuits, and they're made up of, yeah, of lots of little bits. So they're nice. Yeah, they're sweeter than digestives, but they're crunchier and they've got more bits that end up getting in your teeth.
Yeah, no.
Surrealsy says, are you going to try and smuggle your kids to Adepticon in a suitcase? Nope. Nope. We're all going on a big family holiday when we get back. That's the plan. As long as the Kickstarter does well and it funds and that sort of stuff, that's the first thing I'm sort of doing with
No one's put
the
Dash
profits.
Willow.
No one's put Ask Willow.
No, Dash Willow.
Dash Willow.
Yeah.
Oh, she's dashed. Evan's saying, hobnobs. Yeah, Novice is saying, thanks, I'll try the newspaper method. Give it a go, mate. Go and have a search in my Hills playlist for the plaster bandage hill. It shows all the actual techniques there. Okay. Chicken wire is good for mountain making. Yeah. I'm not sure if I've done a video on that.
The Little Willow.
Have I done a video on chicken wire?
Skittles.
Chocolate digestives or regular?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Although, do you like those chocolate digestives which have like the layer of toffee in?
No.
Oh, I do, because they hold the biscuit together when you're dunking. So, yes.
I don't like toffee. Alright,
Moving on. Question 8 of 13. Yeah, Matt on YouTube. I bought some plastic palm trees.
Okay, Dad has to read this one. This is his thing. Come on, Dad.
Funnily enough, yeah, I got a parcel in the post yesterday.
Who sent him?
I drunk bought them on Wish again. I've got to stop buying drunk buying palm trees on Wish. I've got about 200 palm trees now. But it's like £3 for like 15.
Can I make them?
You don't need that. They're made.
I know, I mean, can I stick them together?
You don't need to do.
Or I'll just stick them together and just lay them across the top of your desk. Like, here.
Sanders saying, Willow, I heard you are making 3D renders. I want to see them. She's not at 3D render stage yet. You're learning how to do characters, aren't you? Drawing characters, and then we're getting to, animation, aren't we?
Yep.
Corbin's the 2D guy. Yeah, she'll be doing 3D. Right, Matt's action. I bought some plastic palm trees and I'm thinking about spraying an acrylic ink wash with an airbrush to tone down the leaves. Will the ink wash crack in the same way acrylic paint cracks? Do I need some PVA mixed in to keep it flexible? Right, first thing, give them a wash. Yeah, one of the biggest problems with paint cracking on these plastic palm trees is the actual residues that they have left on them. So throw them in some hot soapy water, give them a good wash, yeah, get that off it. Generally, you don't need to worry about inks and washes cracking with soft plastic. They don't tend to lay down thick enough to crack, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, so I don't think you're going to need some PVA mixed in to keep it flexible.
Dad.
1 second. If you were using paint and painting them up, then I do mix PVA in, and I find that works pretty well.
You're going up in the world.
14. Thank you, my little comment moderator.
And I've got all the times.
Whoa, when did Mel start selling? Selling what? Don't do palms, but I've spent the week in an orchestra bit making wire tree frames in my downtime. Nice. Sitting there, I'm not playing anything right now, so I'm gonna make wire trees. I like that. Willow, you should watch Star Wars. How can you keep breathing without that knowledge? I know.
Just don't like it.
I made some good cheap hills using styro scrap, paper towels and watered down PVA. Yeah, that works well. You did not drunk buy. You showed us which, and I saw you had a coupon. I don't think I can forgive you for showing me that website, or at least my wallet can't forgive you.
What did you do, Dad?
Oh, they discovered Wish.
What, they discovered your wish?
Are there any palm trees left available still, or has Mel bought them all? No, there are still palm trees available. Yeah, going back to Matt's question, give your palm trees a good wash in soapy water. You're not going to have a problem with putting an ink wash on them with cracking. But if you're going to go down the painting route, especially the, the trunks and stuff like that, a bit of PVA in does go a long way. Willow, shots fired.
Get down!
Right. Question. What's this?
You kidding me?
9 of
14. Hit or miss.
Start with episode 4. Yeah, start with episode 4. Jaja, miso. Bill's going, right. I goofed on a cut in a piece of silicone mould. Any hope of finding a glue that will stick it back in? I don't have any more silicone left to re-pour. Dang. I don't know what glue sticks silicone. I'm going to have to pass this over to the terrainiacs. I've no idea what glue sticks silicone. So have you cut a bit out of the mould that you need to glue in, or is it just a cut in the mould? Normally, if it's just a cut in the mould, you can you can just throw an elastic band around the mould and hold it tight, and it's absolutely fine. Donald Moose to say, Mel, I have the idea. I'll bake some cakes for you, and you give me some trees. I don't need you to bake me cakes. I have my own cake baker, don't I?
I made cookies and he ate them all.
I did. They were lovely.
I only got half the tray. I don't think Mum got any.
I think she did.
Yeah, I think she got like 1 or 2.
The only thing that sticks silicon is silicon. Yeah. Now, very quickly, you might not have any silicon, Bill. But remember, there's silicon sealant you can buy for bathrooms and stuff like that. You know, the stuff that you knock out in a caulking gun? A little bit of that will stick it. Yeah, JP's saying try cork. Yeah, exactly. So I've started my Tree of Life board. It's got an overhang that I'd like to have a waterfall falling into a pool. Any tips on getting the waterfall? Actually, you could use the same technique with the acrylic gel on the the kitchen paper, the greaseproof paper we mentioned earlier. Peel that off, and that's the basis of your waterfall. And then you just you do a strip, nice long strip, cut it out, use a blade, shape it, pin it in place, hold it in place with a bit of thicker acrylic gel or water effects, then just do your pores top and bottom.
It's looking like every 5 or 10 minutes you're going to get another comment.
I better answer these quicker than 5-10 minutes then, aren't I? Otherwise we're going to be here all night. Got some plastic trees from Wish. We'll probably strip the... I hope you lot put me in the refer for all your what-you-call-it. Yeah. Bill saying, thanks gang for the silicon cork. Nice one, gang. Knew you'd have it covered. Right. Here's a question for us. Yeah. The novice model maker is asking, also, what is wargaming? I just make models, and so I'm not familiar with the term.
You what?
You see, wargaming is where we make models, and then we use things like that, and things like those, to play games on them. What are you doing? You don't need to bring all our games over.
This is 3 boxes of wargaming.
That's just X-Wing.
Oh.
Will you switch the heating off it for me, Bob?
Sure, what do you want it on?
Just stick it on.
Stick it on daytime.
Whatever it's on now, yeah. Stick it on one more up.
Okay.
If you switch it on daytime, Wills, the man in the house, that'll put it up by 2. I think it's on evening.
Thank you.
For 19.
I recently won a load of miniature figures in a mixed lot and auction. I need help identifying what game they are, so I can advise that they are army figures, approximately 15mm height. Flames of War, that sounds like. Yeah.
I'm the comment girl.
Yeah, but yeah, wargaming is basically where we make models. Well, we don't make the models. We make the models to enable our play. If you know, with wargaming.
Even I play wargaming.
You do. What's your favourite?
I know it. What's it called again? The Blood Bowl.
You like Blood Bowl, don't you?
Good school and always forgets to remove the token.
Yeah, and you get him on a technicality. She's so, so cruel like that. Wargaming is grown men playing with toy soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes women as well.
Yeah. And grown women, and young men.
Uh-huh.
Wargaming's a hobby for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah. Unless you're under 3. Then I'm putting a sticker on your face.
Oh, Odin, thank you, buddy.
$2.
Ah, Odin donated £2.
Yeah.
Do you know he's a Viking? Odin.
Oh yeah, we're doing Vikings.
You're doing Vikings. What are you doing about Vikings?
Yeah, wasn't Odin the he was the father of 4, and he was the biggest of them all, and he created Asgard, Midgard, and the other one.
What have you been doing? Have you been doing this at school?
Yeah. I wrote an entire biography on him.
Did you? You wrote a biography on Odin?
Yeah. Should have put he was also one of my dad's subscribers.
He's one of my dad's subscribers. The Norse god Odin also subscribes to my father on YouTube. That's not the Odin we were talking about.
That's how you know we're a good family.
We used to form wargaming during divisional exercises. I remember it being done in the army. I remember the officers wargaming. Now that sort of breaks it down, Jimmy, now that sort of breaks it down to what's the bare essence. It is. But yes, we like our wargaming. Hey.
Yeah?
Perhaps Odin could watch colour. I wonder if he could do, like, send you a photo of a real Viking place. Because do you know what he does?
What?
He does living Viking archaeology. So he goes and lives as a Viking, yeah, during the summer. So he can work out how the Vikings actually lived.
Can I go with him?
Would you like to go with him?
Yeah.
Should we go visit him one day when he does it? We'll
Can
go
we?
Viking.
Can
That would
we?
be cool.
Can we?
Would you like to go live as a Viking for a week?
Yeah. Can we? Can we? Can we?
I can kill my kids under Viking law, can't
Hey!
I?
Make sure I don't get you first.
That's one heck of an endorsement though, Mal. Odin, you should give him a review so he can put it on the introduction.
Wait, Dad. Can I let Odin come into my school and just say, this is the Viking
Good,
Odin
quite
who
right.
subscribed to my dad?
Do you know what? I actually reached out to someone's saying Sandhurst Military Academy uses wargaming to teach new officers tactics. It works sometimes. Do you know what? I actually reached out to Sandhurst to see if I could go and visit where they teach the officers and see their boards that they teach them on, but they never got back to me. What are you on about? You're just being crazy now. A familiar face. Mel, you can also sell them into slavery. Yes!
You'll be my slave then.
No, I get to sell my children into slavery.
I'm the alpha.
You're the alpha. I'm the omega.
It's called an omega. Do you want a test?
Sit down.
It's a showdown.
Right. Max is asking, Mel, any suggestions on how to let realistic water dry? We put basically into a plastic tarpaulin. We put basically a plastic tarpaulin in it. The ocean will cover a corner on our model train set, suggesting a dockyard.
Do you just have to
How
leave
to let it? You just gotta leave realistic water. Realistic water. If you're talking about Woodland Scenics or Vallejo or even GW, they're all acrylic compounds, so they're water based. So with all of them, you've just gotta let them dry. The important thing is to let them dry in an even temperature room. Don't hotspot them, don't try and accelerate the drying. Otherwise what will happen is as the volume drops, as the water decreases, if you hotspot it, you'll get cracking and your actual water will actually crack and separate. Yeah? It's a bit like Moses, you know what I mean, with the Red Sea. Yeah, you get literally a crack straight down it. It's completely unrealistic. If that does happen to you, the way you can fix it is by just pouring a little bit more into that area and then adding a couple of drops of water and just rubbing it smooth and then just leaving that settle, and that'll sort of settle it down.
Dad?
Yeah? Yes, darling.
You talked about how to make fake water dry for a straight 5 minutes.
Good. Lindy Beige has a great video about wargamers that won the real war. Well worth checking out. That's on my watch later list. I'm a patron of Lindy's. Yeah, so it's on my watch later. There's a lot of videos on my watch later list. Yeah.
And me.
Odin saying you are always welcome to visit. We'll sort a Viking experience out for you. Shall we?
Yeah.
This summer. Would you like to? Even if it's only just for a long weekend, if we can just do that, we'll go a Viking.
Yeah, screw the abroad trip.
Well, it is abroad. It won't be in this country, will it?
Wait, so we'll go on a plane, so we'll have the abroad trip and the Viking at the same time. Thank you.
Oh. Yeah, JP saying Woodland Scenics also has a heat melted product as well for water. Yes, they do, but it is god awful. Do please make that your last option. It's horrendous. In all honesty, it really is as a water option. It was one of the very first water options that came along for the modelling community. Yeah, that you could do at home, and it's basically low melt temperature plastic that you basically stick in a pan. Yeah, you melt it and then you pour it into wherever you pour in the water, but you've got no hope of getting any bubbles out of it. A lot of the time it has a hell of a meniscus, you know, a curvature at the side. Well, you could go sack Linda's farm again. But generally, yeah. My general recommendation for doing water is I generally recommend 2-part epoxy resins first, either glass cast or or Envirotex. Moving down from that, you've got the acrylics, the acrylic pours and the acrylic texture gels. Then after that, you've got all the other sort of hobby products, you know, the melted glue, the melted plastics, you know, the glues that aren't really water effects, but you can use them as water effects and that sort of stuff.
Okay, folks, take note.
Yeah, he rarely talks bad about a product, so if he's saying this, stay away from it. No, in all honesty, I mean, it's not just me. It has got a bit of a horrendous reputation. And, you know, Woodland Scenics, I'm not going to bash them because, you know, their water products are, for the modelling products, the best on the market, in my opinion. You know, their acrylics, I tested their acrylics against Vallejo and GW and that sort of stuff, and they came out well on top. On top of that, they've got their own resins, they've got their own pigments, they've got it nailed down. But their melted plastic solution, just keep away from that. Like, I mean, you've got to remember, I bought that stuff before she was born. I bought that stuff before Corbin was born.
Damn, that must have been old.
I mean, it's 50. It's one of the very
13 years. 14
yeah, maybe even longer, because it was around on the market a lot longer before me. Yeah, you've got to understand, on top of this, it's yellow. It's not even clear. It looks like pee.
Yeah. So be peeing in it.
I mean, and when you put it in, it looks like a big pool of pee.
Odin, I know you created the world, but it doesn't mean you have to pee in all the pools.
That's not Odin. We're talking about Woodland Scenics. That's got nothing to do with Odin.
He peed in all the woodlands.
But Odin may have created all the oceans with his great pee.
Can you imagine if that's what he created it?
I tried Vallejo still water for the first time and had major shrinkage problems on just small miniature bases. All the acrylics have that problem, mate, to be perfectly honest. It's why I'm not a fan of them. In general, when I do my water effects, I always go for the resins. Always, because you get what you pour. You know what I mean?
Dad, how long will this... What time will the live show end?
Another half hour at this rate. Yeah, the acrylic gel doesn't fully set though. I've had ponds stored on the side and found it blobbed to one side. It does over time, but it's moisture sensitive. So if you've got moisture in the air, the acrylic can reabsorb that and reactivate. Fred was telling me about this, this gallery. Yeah, just talking about stacking someone on its side and you know, the pond blobbing. Fred was telling me about this gallery that hung a Picasso oil painting over a radiator, and the heat from the radiator started to make the paint run. The oil paint reacted, warmed up and started to sag. So to fix it, they turned it the other way round until it sagged back to normal. Then they took it away from the radiator. Odin saying, I might be setting up stuff to offer such experience commercially anyway soon. We will happily be your test case and advertise it for you, mate. Right. So that's Max. Right, we are on question 12 or 16. I'll check PayPal in a second. Yeah. Okay, Steve Hill's asking, I'm building 28mm Venice for Carnival. What would you use to make seaweed growing on the high tide line, canal walls, or on the jetty poles? I'd use seaweed. No, you can buy, what do you call it, from Chinese stores, Chinese food stores. You can buy dry seaweed. Yeah, break it all up, wet it a little with a bit of PVA, and just use that. It works perfect because it's seaweed. It's exactly the right colour, the right texture. Works absolutely brilliant, mate. Yeah, it does come dry, so you've got to soak it in watered down PVA. Yeah, otherwise when you try and break it and that sort of stuff, it goes to dust. It's a Picasso. How could they tell? The drips on the radiator. Could fiberglass resin be used to make water? I don't know, Randy. I've no experience of using fiberglass, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, people are talking about small scale scatter pieces, as in like, you know, toilets and stuff like that. Couple of good suppliers. I know Foreground have a load of interior details like that. TT Combat do, and obviously the architectural people. On top of that, remember, there's plenty of 3D printers who print out stuff like that as well. So you can get those on Thingiverse and that sort of stuff. Yeah. But with regards to Steve's question, use seaweed, mate, from the Chinese store. That's your best results. Failing that, you can get some good results using garden twine. Yeah, cut in little sections and untwined. That has the same sort of look to it. You may need to darken it down, okay, because most garden twine nowadays is quite a light green. It used to be a very dark green, which was perfect, but you might need to add a little bit of dark green paint into it. Now they do the light green ones, but garden twine works well, really well. Menno saying, I always hang my Rembrandts over the heater. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Right. Before we ask that question, quick check of the PayPals, make sure we're not missing anyone.
And still no one said a dash willow.
People have asked you questions.
What's my age?
And? Very quickly. Right. That's Joe's. That's Harry. Burkhart S has sent us 4 nuggets. Thank you, buddy. No message. But Burkhard, I like that name. Burkhard is a classic name. I am Burkhard. Burkhard the First. I'm not taking the mick, mate. I really like that name. Kudos to your parents.
A hardy £100.
A hardy £100. You haven't got a hardy £100.
Yeah.
Right. Best stuff I've heard for water is the stuff they seal bar tops with. You get at the DIY centre. Right, is that polyurethane varnish?
Polyester.
No, polyester is something else. Polyurethane.
I just like saying weird things.
I swallowed a newt once. You could say I had a blast. You can use some varnishes as water effects. Yeah, varnishes work as water effects, but they don't have the depth that we have as water effects. Right, Wolf of Odin is asking, Mel, any ideas what to use for making thin roads for Team Yankee, but in a desert theme, ally Desert Storm? I'd probably texture some thin plasticard, mate, to be perfectly honest. I mean, Team Yankee is, what, it's 15mm, so... Yeah, I'd probably either go with 3mm APVC, foamed EPVC, yeah, or textured plasticard, to be perfectly honest. I mean, no doubt the terrainiacs will jump in with 101 suggestions on things like the latex, because I mean, a lot of people are doing caulking roads now. Yeah, but I'm still playing with stopping them curling up at the edges. I'm getting there. Odin saying fiberglass resin usually very smelly and sticky and might react with other stuff on the train. I wouldn't use it. Yeah. Sanders saying keep Willow in the show. Perhaps what we should have is we should have like Corbin 1 week, Willow another week, and then a vote off on who's on.
Oh yeah.
Who the Trainiacs prefer. Battle of the Children. Oh, look at you! Look at you! Yeah.
Any emojis?
Willow, how do you keep your parents young in body and mind? Have you seen how grey I am, mate?
Easy.
Liquid glass, I think it's called. I'll check that liquid glass out.
Just tell him.
Yeah, Jimmy's saying for roads I use fine grained sandpaper glued to plasticard. That'll work really well. There's demonstrations of that in the Let's Make playlist. Hey.
Mum, I'm a comment monkey. Oh, 17.
Monkey.
Yep, 17. 1 minute.
What are you doing?
She's figuring out how often I get a question, so we can figure out whether we'll make the end of the show in time or not. Now we're on question 30. We're on question 14 of 17.
Yeah, Dad. So far, your times have been going 11 from 5 to 5 to 16 to 6.
Right. Hey, her paper roses for ice cream was brilliant. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
If you don't know, took Willow out for a little bit of dinner while Kerry was out with her mum today. Yeah, and while we went to for a pub lunch. So we're in the restaurant of the pub and we're sitting there and we're about to order our food. Willow's got the napkins and she's making roses. Yeah, waitress comes along. Yeah, she goes, "Here you go. Made these for you." Yeah, didn't you? What did she say?
Have some free ice cream.
She didn't
such
say
a nice
that.
Girl.
She didn't say that. She said thank you, and Willow said thank you, have a lovely day, and says you too. She gives us our food, off she goes. Yeah, I turn around to Willow and I go, "That was nice, Willow." Willow goes, "I wonder if I'll get free ice cream." Yeah, after your meal, what turned up?
Free ice cream. Cookie dough, bubblegum, 2 scoops.
You little sod.
That's how you get free ice cream, kids who are watching. Go to Hungry Horse, say Willow sent you. Remember to bring a bag of paper roses.
It's a Willow question. Who's it from?
Woodchucker.
Okay, right. So Woodchucker is asking,
Willow, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A woodchuck could woodchuck woodchuck. And a woodchucker would chuck as much wood as a chucker would chuck.
How much wood would a woodchucker chuck if a woodchucker chucked wood? It depends really on whether he was dedicated to the role, how many hours he was putting in, how good his chucker was, the availability of the wood to chuck.
Wait, I'm gonna Google it, see what the answer is.
Ever tried to build a Blood Bowl field? Not as yet, but I need to. I want to build one for Jace.
Don't skip that. You had to do that, didn't you?
There is no answer to that question, darling.
Wood cut. Got it.
Okay. Donald Moose is asking on YouTube. Yeah. I have a little strange question. Hey up. Here we go. Any idea how to make underwater traces for torpedoes? Right, here's the challenge. First, you've got to sort of say, right, what are you using for the water? Okay. Yeah. Because I'm trying to envisage this. I'm wondering whether you're playing Cruel Seas and you're trying to be fancy, or whether you're trying to do a diorama. If you're doing a diorama and you've got some sort of water effects and it's setting, I would use a syringe.
Dad, looks like they can chuck £700 in 1 month.
Chuck £700 in 1 month. That's the answer according to Google. Yeah. You can use a syringe and you can inject, water effects, or even resin and that sort of stuff mixed with a little bit of white paint actually into your water as it's setting. Yeah, to make those effects. The cake makers are really good at this. If you go on to like cake decorations,
how much wood could a woodchuck
wait 1
chuck
second.
if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
By the Associated Press in 1988, which reported that a New mathematician named Richard Thomas had calculated the volume of dirt in a typical 25 to 30 foot long woodchuck burrow and had determined that if the woodchuck had moved an equivalent volume of wood, it could.
Right. Enough with your woodchucking. Yeah, but if you go and check out the cake makers, have a look for cake making injection decoration. Yeah.
Oh yeah, is that where they like inject the icing?
Yeah, and you could make the sort of they're not contrails, but the sort of water disruption effects from torpedoes using that technique.
I liked how you all stayed silent before with
Frank B says, my 16-year-old daughter wants a fist bump for cookie dough ice cream. There you go. Yeah. Willow, I'm an ex-Navy steward, glorified butler, and we had to learn many ways to fold napkins. My favourite is the fleur-de-lis. Oh, you could learn that one.
I know how to do a flamingo.
Do you? But
No,
fleur-de-lis, if you do a fleur-de-lis, what you call it, you might get 3 scoops next time.
Go on, Lynn.
But yeah, with regards to the traces in the water, have a look at the cake decorating injection style. That's the best way I can think of doing that. Assuming that, Donald, that's what you're asking in your question. It's a bit vague, without knowing the material you're trying to embed the traces of the torpedo in. My pepper steak is coming along nicely. Now for the rice. Hey Mel, I'm finally getting round to making my first bit of scratch-built terrain. Nice one, Peter. I'm making a water tower for Wild West Exodus. Any advice on how to make rivets for the straps around the water tanks? Pinheads, mate. Yeah, put a little hole and then just drop little pins with a little bit of glue straight in. Yeah, and the pinheads will make perfect rivets. On top of that, Green Stuff World, they sell a mould where you can fill with plaster or resin, and that's just individual rivets that you can then pop out and glue on. You can buy strips of plastic moulded rivets that you cut out and you can pop on. You can use something like Mod Podge, and if you're very careful with a cocktail stick, you can dip it in the Mod Podge and just drop it and leave a little blob, and that'll give a rivet look. The other thing that you can do is there's a company, it's either Plastruct or Evergreen, and they do plastic rods. Now you can get round rods and you can slice them, but they also do hexagon rods that look like bolt heads, and you can use those. On top of that, you can get a hole cutter. Yeah, a hole punch, and you can use that on plastic card to knock out lots and lots of little tiny plastic card circles that you can glue on. Yeah, so there's a load of options for your rivets. Yeah, mate, you might need to watch the live show back again and just follow that through, because I think there was about 6 or 7 ideas there, weren't there? Yeah. Donald's saying thanks, give it a go. Send me some pics, mate. I'd like to see that. What's Sander saying? Sander, Mel or Kat, when can I contact Mel for the Brussels meetup? Email me, mate. Anything official like that I deal with purely by email. Oh, very nice. Look at that for a rose.
Focus.
There you are. Will's got skills.
Gonna make a swan.
Yeah, so yeah, that's how I'd handle, rivets and that sort of stuff. Well, that's how I do rivets. Mainly, I like pins, because you can drill just little holes and you can just drop them straight in, but there's a whole load of other options, mate. Yeah, okay, question 16 of 17.
Does it have a W by it?
Pete's saying,
No.
any tips for modular rivers? Getting the ends to join up right is quite hard as I get ridges where I'm blocking the ends. Yeah, okay, that's the meniscus effect. We've talked about this in the past quite a few times. Yeah, but when you've got a modular river, you have to block off the end to stop, the resin or the water effects running off the side. And so you put a sheet against it and you have a ridge line that comes up. It's called the meniscus effect. Easiest way to deal with that is just get a file, wear a mask because of the dust, file it down. Just file it flat. Yeah, once you've filed it flat, come along with some very fine grade sandpaper. Yeah, give it a quick sand, smooth it off. After that, just give it a coat of gloss varnish. The gloss varnish will fall between the grooves, and it will completely make it smooth and flat and perfect, and it's done. That's all you got to do. You can cut it off, yeah, sand it flat, and then just the gloss varnish, perfect finish, no worries whatsoever. Yeah. The only thing, the caveat I will put on that is, remember, that's great for getting it level. There's no real technique for if you go too deep, yeah, and you take a chunk out. You're going to struggle. You're going to have to put the barrier back on, add a little bit more resin, build it all up, and then sand it all flat and that sort of stuff. So, go easy, but essentially, file it flat, sand it smooth, yeah, and then just go over it with a bit of, a bit of gloss varnish. Always get a damp rag and clean off the dust before you put your gloss varnish on, of course. Right, Pete, I hope that helps you, and if it has, links down below, buddy. Yeah, nail art 2mm gems make good rivets. You get thousands for a £5. Nail art gems, that's a new one for me. Thank you, JP. Very nice. Right, we are on question 17 of 18. We're still going.
Wait, we've got 18 now?
Yeah, it's still going.
Oh, when did we get that?
This one's for you. Right, we've got about 10 minutes to wrap up the show. So, if any of you would like to ask Willow a question about what it's like living with a terrainiac dad, yeah, throw those in, eh? Yeah, so Willow, Gary is asking, Willow, ask your dad for a whatchamacallit candy bar. Listen.
Can they have a whatchamacallit candy bar?
If they exist, yes. They tell me that they exist in America.
You better get on Wish.
Are there really such things as whatchamacallit candy bars? Are there? I don't know. Let me know.
And if you can, add it to my dad's wish list.
Right, question 18 of 19.
Now we got 19.
Anime Antipotian. There you are.
Can you read it to me?
There you are. It's a question for you. He's on Twitch.
I don't have a YouTube channel.
No, right. You need to read the question out, Muppet.
Oh.
Willow, your dad mentioned you are drawing anime. Have you considered doing a video of your work? Not as yet. We're staying quite relaxed on your work so you enjoy it, don't we? We don't want to make a big thing of it. Yeah. Although you're drumming.
That's good.
Can you stop nailing my post-it notes?
I'm making a swan.
I don't care what you're making. You've nailed my pad.
Swans are more important.
The whatchamacallit candy bars were popular in the 80s. I'll check to see. They're a real thing. No way. Whatchamacallit. There's a whatchamacallit board game.
You what? Dad?
There's a whatchamacallit board game.
And it's for $13.99. Wait, one's for $8.99.
How cool is that? Candy. There is a whatchamacallit candy bar. Oh my god.
And it's £1. Good on me. But who's buying chocolate bars from eBay?
Hershey whatchamacallit. I never knew that. I thought that was a word I made up. I was 100% sure I made up the word whatchamacallit.
I guess not, Dad. The more you know.
Whatchamacallit? That's blown my mind. Would you ever do a video on how to make a wire cutter? No, Otis, I won't. The reason being is that I don't mess with electrics. And I'm not putting a video out explaining... I don't mess with electrics, so I'm not putting a video out messing with electrics. That's your swan.
No.
Is it a swan in a pool by the outlet valve for a nuclear power station?
Hey, I haven't done it in a long time.
Did you know what you call it? Yeah, we used to have a nuclear power station up the coast from where I used to live on Anglesey, Wilver Power Station. Yeah, and everyone used to fish by the outlet pipe because it always used to knock out warm water. Yeah, from the reactor. So that's where all the locals.
Dad,
wait,
21,
that's where all
20,
the locals used
21.
to fish from. Yeah. Yeah, and we used to go swimming when we were kids in the creek because the water was warmer there because the outlet pipe from the nuclear reactor was there.
Dad,
I'm not joking.
we got 21 comments.
Nice.
And they're all for me.
Mel, speechless. Wow. Easier and safer just to buy a wire cutter. Jimmy, I completely agree. Crushed Mel's dreams and inspired his lust for candy bars in one go. Right. Jasper's saying, I just wanted to throw in a small hint towards pouring resin in tight spots, like your demonic altar. Use a disposable plastic syringe. Syringe? Yeah. Yeah, what you call it? Syringes are a good way of, filling gaps and stuff like that. Also, the old turkey baster. Although that's got a special meaning in Britain nowadays. That could be why you have no hair. Right, okay, question. Right, I am gonna... Right. Joxanese Japer is asking, Willow, does your dad steal many sweets biscuits off you?
Yeah. On Halloween, when we all went for sweets, when I was little, we all came back and he told us to put all of our sweets on the table. And he mixed them all up and then ended up taking half of them, so I went up and cried in my own room. Do you remember that?
I do, because you wanted to take all the sweets.
I wanted the dib dabs.
Your mother wanted the dib dabs.
We
Your
thought-
dad doesn't like dib dabs. Yeah, but
like
there
our
was
dib
no way you were taking that much sugar and E numbers into your room, young lady. Do you want to explain daddy tax to him?
Anything I buy, he has to take 25% of it as he...
10?
10% of it as he claims that he bought it.
Daddy tax. It's a real thing, you know. And it's helping them adjust to the realities of the world. Yes, you may have a chocolate bar, but there's tax. Daddy tax. Make sure you get a hot dog when you go to Chicago. They call them Chicago dogs and they are awesome. I want one of these. There's a big hoo-ha because I don't like pizza and I'm going to Chicago. Yeah. But I have heard of these Chicago dogs and I'm up for one of these Chicago dogs. Okay, question 21 and 22. Dude, where's my car? Willow, what's your favourite board game?
Catch the Moon.
Is that a board game? I'm not sure if it's a board game.
Do you have to pick another one then?
Go on, pick another one just out of interest.
What's that one that we play at Nan's? Monopoly. No, Yeti.
Yeti. So not what you call it, not Carcinone. That's Mum's more, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it, but Yeti all the way.
Yeah, you like Yeti. Yeti is a simple board game where you move around the board, okay, and then you have this plastic Yeti that chases you, and if it lands on you, there's a chance it could stomp on you.
Yeah.
And then the control of the Yeti flips between players, doesn't it?
No. Oh yeah, if you land on a Yeti, then you can
move it. Yeah, and so Corbin and Willow trying to chase each other around the board, stamping on each other with the Yeti.
When me, Archie and Izzy play, when one of them get out, I normally go, he's coming up with the Yeti, and then I just plop one on his head.
Yeah, JP's also saying use a stick to keep your resin pour from getting bubbles in it. Yeah, pouring down a stick works.
Dad, your comments are looking at an okay speed.
Oh, right, okay, so we're pretty good.
Yeah, you got an 11, 5, 5, 16, 6, 10, 22121.
There's been quite a rush in the end with the Willow comments, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
there
I'm
has.
popular.
Right, because you're popular. Right, cover the seizure top up before people start fitting.
Take off the top.
Yeah, I like Carcinone. I recently bought the Star Wars version. We got that for a friend of ours, actually, for Christmas. Right. Final question.
It's a final
YouTube Revolutionary on Twitch. Willow, you know you can take over your dad's channel when he's away. Think about it.
Let's ship him
No.
off. Let's ship him off now. Then I'll pay Dad.
No, not happening. Not happening. Right, I'm going to check PayPal in just a second, guys, in case anyone's donated in the meantime.
I think we can
Yeah.
fit like one more question.
Yeah, and all the questions are locked off. Otis is saying, if you go to Chicago, ask for a chili cheese dog. Right, if I'm going to Chicago, what dog should I ask for? Have you ever used Depron? I can't say I have, Stavros. I don't recognise the name. I might have used it in an alternative brand, as used it as something else, but I don't recognise the name. Depron. Let's have a look.
Sorry.
Oh, Depron insulation. Let me have a look. Close cell polystyrene sheet. Yeah, I know this stuff.
Is that the annoying stuff that's in Dean's music room?
No, what you call it? It's like it's more flexible as a polystyrene, I think. Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't used it, mate. Well, Evan's asking, what's your Blood Bowl team?
What do I normally play as? Is it the orcs or the humans?
Orcs.
No, I'm the humans.
I'm sure you're.
No, Corbin's the orcs. I'm the humans because I always smack them around the face.
Bless you, Willow. Bless her. Bevin's saying, do you have any advice on starting modelling? Yeah. Was Willow just singing the final countdown? Yeah.
It's a final countdown to
Yeah. Willow doing a sound check. Right. Do you have any advice on starting modelling? My only advice, as we're wrapping up the show, that I'll give you right now is dead simple. Start small. Make little pieces with no intention other than just trying things. Yeah. And once you've got enough pieces to cut cover your cutting mat, you'll have practiced pretty much all the essential skills and that sort of stuff, and figured out what you like, what tools you like, and all that sort of stuff. Deep dish pizza. Nope, don't like pizza. Never put ketchup on your hot dog. Why not? We have ketchup on hot dogs here, don't we?
Yeah.
Mustard, chili cheese, onion, relish. Isn't relish a ketchup anyway? Thanks for answering my questions and pronouncing my name correctly. That's Stavros. The only reason we can pronounce Stavros correctly is because we saw Stavros Flatley, didn't we? And his son. Yeah, where were we? We were...
Gaming convention.
No, it wasn't a gaming convention. It wasn't Butlins. We were staying at one of those Devon... It was one of those chalet holidays that we get
What,
out.
when we went with Leighton?
Yeah, I think we didn't have Leighton that time, but we had a chalet holiday, didn't we?
And there was that arcade when Corbin had to give me all the tickets.
Yeah, but Stavros Flatley was there, wasn't he? Yeah, in need of an emergency kebab. Yeah. Relish is kind of like chopped pickles. You see, in Britain, yeah, it's dead simple, isn't it? Red sauce, brown sauce.
Mustard, salad cream.
Yeah.
Anything else is fluffy.
Mustard underneath, then hot dog, then ketchup. Chili and onions with a pickle spear on the steam bun.
I feel like that would be nice and mustard underneath in the ketchup.
You don't like mustard?
Yeah, I don't. It's Corbin that doesn't.
No, you don't like mustard because I gave you mustard once and your ears blew. You literally felt like there was steam coming out of
No,
them.
remember I went to Frank and Benny's, and then I got the hot dog and I poured mustard all over it. And then Colburn called me a weirdo.
Yeah. Brown sauce is the nectar from the gods. Get some chow chow on hot dogs. What's chow chow? Will you be doing more bolt action terrain soon? Yeah, quite possibly. We'll drip back into that. You do not like pizza because you have never travelled in Italy. What's chow chow? Another term for chow. 2 cents. A Chinese preserve of ginger, orange peel, and other. Ooh, that's chow chow. It's like a relish.
Oh, it's a pickled relish.
Right. Ooh, like piccalilli.
Yeah, from the northern and southern variety.
Ketchup on hot dogs is uncivilized.
Combination of
Blood,
vegetables,
pus, and-
green.
Oh, damn, that's gross, Duck.
What?
Ketchup on hot dogs is uncivilized. If you're older than 12, it just isn't done. American mustard is watered down and sweetened. Really? I would have thought American mustard would be stronger.
So it's mainly made out of vegetables, greens, tomatoes, onions, carrots, beans.
I will say, yeah, the only sort of, I do like some Chicago pizza.
But it got a lot of calories.
That's not a problem with me, is it? Yeah, I do like the Chicago Town, you know, the little sub crusts, the crunchy ones. Yeah, like you get frozen. You get 2 in a pack. They're lovely. Was at Warhammer World last weekend and minus some of the Blood Bowl stadiums. Made me want to start my own teams. Have you thought about doing a stadium style terrain build? Yeah, I've got to do one for Jace.
We should have a terrainiac team.
Do you sell your finished terrains? Very rarely nowadays because I make them for tutorials. Mustard, ketchup, a hot dog, chili and slaw. Slaw? Coleslaw? A little cocktail sauce on a steamed hot... Cocktail sauce? I'll tell you what. You Americans, you do your food interesting, that's for sure. Right, let me check the PayPals.
Okay.
Yeah. To make sure we're not missing anyone. What are you doing? Slaw. It'll be a coleslaw, darling. Some sort of coleslaw.
Still checking. Coleslaw. The one meaning.
Slaw.
Slaw. Right. Enough? Right, okay. Oh my god. Jess has sent us a couple of nuggets. Jess M, thank you, darling. No
Thank
message,
you.
Jessie. Yeah. But Graham R. Have fun at Adepticon now. He sent us 50 quid. Thank you, Graham. Oh, that's going to have to go on the total. We're almost good for Adepticon. Thank you, buddy. I haven't seen you in ages, Gray.
Thank you, Greg.
That's been a good one, hasn't it? I don't think we have to do a go for dance. I think we've dodged that bullet.
No, we have to.
What?
He's doing it for a good cause. We have to.
We have to, don't we?
Good cause.
If you want a strong mustard, go for Dijon. Yeah, that's a good one.
What's Dijon?
Dijon's a type of mustard.
Why don't you mix hot sauce with mustard?
Right. Tell you what, I think it's time to call this. Look, she's already getting ready for the dance, aren't you?
Well, we have to, don't we?
Oh, my dad's old legs. Right. Put your top together. Stop giving him a seizure.
The corner is too far away.
Well, we're going to have to go up a bit, aren't we? Right, guys. Listen,
Yes, me dad was
you
on
lot,
there.
you lot have been bloody awesome this show. Yeah? Supporting us, helping us, and being a great crack with them.
And giving me comments.
Yeah, so we're going to dance out, aren't we? We're going to do the go for dance?
My hand.
Oh, you're right, darling.
Yeah.
Okay, go for dance. Arms to the side. Right, arms go up and down, hips go round and round, yeah? What are you doing? And with that dramatic exit, yeah, video on Tuesday, guys, and I'll see you in the studio on Thursday. All the best, yeah? Ta-da.